Hi, guys.
Hey,
All right, we are open recording. We're open recording.
It is 6 o'clock. So I would like to call this work session to order.
Wynn,
Yes.
Hartshorn,
Yes.
Mears.
yes,
Did you guys have a chance to look over the Beckett Veronice contract that Travis mailed? It was supposed to go to all of us.
I got it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm still real comfortable with the wording on it. And I just want to know what you guys thought about it, if you had looked at it yet.
Well, to be honest with you, I sent her, Barbara, an email and asked her for some past references. And I've been trying to deal with that the last couple of days. And she did give me one, none in Montgomery County. She gave me one in Springfield, in Summit County, or Summit Township. I called them. They knew nothing about her. And the gentleman's name that she gave me to call, I didn't call him. I called him later, but I called the township first. They did not know anything about it. And the gentleman that she referred me to ask, he's been gone 10, 15 years. So they knew nothing. So I ended up, they had no idea what I was talking about or anything else. I said, I couldn't give him a year because she didn't give me years. So I called that gentleman today and he never returned my phone call, which they said he would. Personally, myself, and when Barbara did call me, and I was talking to her, and she said, well, she had been out of it for 20 years and just got back into it. So I myself am not real comfortable with this. I mean, I don't know. She couldn't give me anybody in Montgomery County. And like I said, these two that she gave me references, they were like from 15, 20 years ago.
I'm having some second thoughts because I feel like every time we tell them what protection we want put into the contract, it's just written like they've never done this before.
Right.
And it's not that difficult to put indemnity clauses or some type of, release of liability clauses. It's not that wordy or difficult. And if they're not going to be in there, I'm not sure I'm real comfortable with moving ahead either.
Yeah.
So did you forward a copy of this over to Nathaniel to review? See what his thoughts were?
I have not sent it to him yet. I actually wanted to talk to you guys and really get Rhonda's opinion because she's the financial guru and find out, if we even want to send it to Nathaniel and see what he thinks.
One thing I reviewed a little bit further, I was trying to think of some of the areas that we could save money. And so with the motor vehicle license tax, I reached out to Columbus, and we can put an optional, another $5 levy tax on. It needs to be passed by resolution. We're allowed up to $30 per vehicle. Currently, Perry Township is at 25. So I would hate to pay this company just at 25% when we already know this.
Yeah, and on that one, don't we already get a part of that Like I know with the vehicle tax thing, if your zip code is 45309, it goes to a municipality, but didn't you tell me that's already divided up amongst that the township already gets part of that?
Yes, they do. When you go to the License Bureau, they have a geocoding process with your address already in there, and it's already linked to your address. That's linked to Perry Township. If there's ever any disputes on, somebody says, no, I live in Brookville, but the address is showing Perry Township, then they do look further and resolve the issue. But their accuracy rate is like 98%, and that came from Stephanie Cook from the Ohio Department of Public Safety in Columbus.
So that's money we're already getting.
We are getting $25 per vehicle. Harrison Township is the only one that is maxed out at $30 per vehicle. Everybody else in Montgomery County, except for Jefferson Township, they are still at $20, but everyone else is at $25. So it's, that's something that you trustees can discuss. A resolution would need to be passed, submitted to Ohio Department of Public Safety by July 1st, and it would take effect in 2022.
And this is something that I discussed with Rhonda the other day about this, about getting that money, because I know when I go to get my license plates, they just tell, I just say, my address. They never ask me if it's period, what township. They just say what county. So
Right.
that's what we discussed, and that's why she found that out. So it must be, it's linked. So yeah.
I actually just did some plates and I noticed a typo. It had the right address, but it still had me under Clay Township. And so I had to resubmit it 3 times online to actually get it to switch to Perry. But I did that before my latest plates, so it can be glitchy, but it's definitely something that
Yeah.
does work.
Yeah. But I myself, Mindy, after, and like I said, I did read the contract, and I was kind of like you, but then when she gave me those things, those references, I wasn't comfortable. I mean, that long ago, and the townships didn't even know what I was talking about. So that kind of, nah.
Okay. So I think one of our, oh, go ahead, Jason.
I was gonna say, when we talked with them last year at the OTAs, I think didn't she say she was advising? I don't know if she was actively part of the work they were doing, but she kind of built the framework that they used. So I don't know if she's gotten back into performing as part of this. That's where the disconnect for me is that I know when we talked with them, we never got to the level of, okay, who's the boots on the ground?
Right.
We just knew that, she had come up with a process, and then we talked with, is his name Josh?
Travis.
Travis.
Yeah.
Travis ended up doing most of the talking, Mindy, when I was talking with him.
He's the only one I've communicated with back and forth.
So yeah.
Well, see, I sent him the original email asking for references, and I sent it to him, and I didn't get anything back, but I got it from her. And then she called, because I left my phone number. She called, and like I said, we spoke, and that's when she told me, well, I've been out of it for 20 years, and I just got bored and wanted to get back in it. So.
Right. Well, I know the company's been doing what she did as a fiscal officer for some years now. What I'm saying is, I don't know if her participation in it is a good indicator of their time in it. I do know that they've been at OTAs for the past couple of years at least, and I don't think they would be in the convention center there if OTA didn't give them some kind of a cosign.
No, and I agree with that, but it just, to me personally, if you can't give me anybody that's been within the last 5 years, seems a little funny to me.
Right. No, I understand. And like I said, that's why I would have been, at least would have wanted to get Nathaniel's input on what he thought of the writing of that. Just One, so that we know, because this is a space that I think we're all a little green in.
Right.
When reviewing contracts and stuff like that. And two, that's what he's there for. So if we at least, even if we're kind of apprehensive at this point, I'd still like to get his input on how it's written and everything else, so that we have that.
Not a bad idea.
So is there anything else on Beckett Berenice? We're kind of holding pat right now, or?
Yeah, I'm certainly in favor of bringing it up at a meeting, maybe next month, having it on the agenda and voting as to what we're gonna do with it.
Well, and here's the other thing, is that we don't have to vote in the near future anyhow. This might be something that requires a little bit more due diligence and following up, doing some more, give ourselves time to think and ask a couple of questions and stuff before just putting it to a vote. I'm not opposed to putting it to a vote. I just think that if we put it to a vote, we know what the answer is going to be if we do it quickly. So I'm open to what you guys think. We can think on it for a bit, or we can just kind of close the book and move on and maybe revisit it down the road. There's nothing saying we can't revisit it down the road.
Well, I've decided, like Missy said, we can't seem to get their references. They don't have a website.
No.
That kind of weirds me out. Anybody that, is a big financial firm, one would think they would have a website. They have profiles on LinkedIn, but I'm not sure, right now we can afford the risk of going into something that is not a 100% guaranteed safe endeavor, and they can't write it into their contract. They don't have the references. I just don't think this is a good time for us to move forward with it.
That's fine.
I don't mind sending an email to Travis and saying, we've got other stuff going on. We decided not to do this right now.
Right.
So are you guys good with that? Is that what I should do?
Well, I think we'll have to bring that up in the we can bring that up in the meeting after this.
Yeah. And it'll probably be, you want it this meeting tonight, or will we have to put it on the agenda for next month?
You can put it in under new business.
Oh, that's true. Okay. Yeah, because I don't know. Too many things are not coming out the way I thought they would. It was kind of all rosy, but the roses have thorns.
I think there's a song about that somewhere.
What's that?
I said, I think there's a song about that somewhere.
Okay, so we're good on that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you guys find the KTLA? Is that what it is? KTLA? No, that's the radio station, the KLA. The worksheets that I put in your drawers for the
Yes.
Otarma. What am I doing today? The risk management assessment.
Yes.
Yeah, my brain. I went through and I picked out a couple that I was interested in working on, and I thought if we divide and conquer, I know Missy's already started working on some. Jason, I don't know if you've started or what you're doing, but I think if we actually use these worksheets and we break it down and we do it, then we send it off to Otarma or whoever it goes to. I think right there we might have some money saved on insurance, if nothing else.
Yeah, I've talked to Tim about the HEPA B, and I've the update on the job description. I've given each department head their old one, and along with their staff to make the updates and to turn in. And I've also dealt with the fire department, and that is with Miss Keaton. And last I talked to her, she's still waiting on her attorney. And I'm not ever heard from New Lebanon, but I'm pretty sure it will probably be the same thing because they're the same contract. So, but those are the three that I have worked on.
Okay. So you were working on job descriptions.
Yes.
Okay. I was also, just because I was kind of plagiarizing some of what was in the packet,
Okay.
and maybe at some point we can come together on that, and I can give you what I did, or you can give me what you did, or we can leave them in drawers for each other and not communicate.
Okay, because basically what I did was I just took the old job descriptions out of the handbook that we have, and that's what I gave the guys for them to update. So, and I
Okay.
know Tim has he's revamped his.
Yeah.
His looks real good. He's working on the officers now, and I think Mike might have put his back in mine. So,
Okay.
but we'll have to get one for I think I gave Karen. Did I give you one?
Yes, you did.
Okay, and then like we'll have to get with Tim on his new assistant there. I think he should have one on her too also. So
Okay. Because one of the things I was looking at is like we have the positions like the road superintendent, service director, and then this suggests cemetery sexton, which we don't necessarily need to have. But we could combine those into a job description since Mike oversees pretty much all of that.
yeah.
And name them in the policy manual or in the employee manual, policy manual, either one that goes along with what everybody else in the state is using.
Right.
I guess Randy could be the road department foreman. He fits into those descriptions, but they had papers in this packet that they suggested that when everybody gets this handbook and stuff, that they actually do their signatures and stuff on the back of it.
Yes.
So I definitely think we should do that. I think we should start looking at the employees as a staff.
Right.
And I know that's going to be kind of hard for some because it's always just been kind of a system, but the OTA and OTARMA and the powers that be, want to see the townships run like a business, and we are. I was working on the form for the insurance and maintenance thing for the personal vehicles. I think we should get anybody who drives their own car, like Karen, and I don't really know who else drives their own personal vehicles anymore. Does Tina Waymeyer still drive her own?
I don't think so. Now Rhonda drives hers to like the bank and stuff.
Okay. So anyway, the form, this is like backwards, isn't it? But the insurance and maintenance requirements for personal vehicles, and then have everybody sign that their vehicle is insured and well maintained. I think that's definitely something we need to get each staff person to do. If you guys think I'm nuts on this stuff, don't hesitate to tell me, but I really think a lot of this stuff is going to protect us in the long run, where people can't just say that, we're making it up as we go along. If we actually have it in a book and we have it in policies.
And the key is that, we want to protect the township from risk. It's the whole purpose behind this. We're trying to tighten up a number of things that haven't been made to be tight for quite some time. And each little chip that we take out of this, it reduces the amount of risk that the township's exposed to. That's just smart.
Yeah.
We're working with the residents' tax dollars, and this lowers the risk of their tax dollars having to go someplace other than towards the township.
Right. And on that, Mindy,
And it boils down.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, on the obtain proof of the insurance for personal vehicles, I know like sometimes I take Karen out, or her and I go together, or I'll run and do something for the township. So I guess I think Rhonda should have mine anyway. And same way with Jason. I know, Jason, you drive around on Saturdays or something, and if you see
Yeah.
something, I would assume and same thing with you, Mindy. So I think all of us need to do that. And,
Well, and I just think we all might want to do it, just
Yeah.
a CYA type meeting.
Yep.
And then they also have these BMV record request forms. Hold on, sweetie. That we should do, yearly checks on our drivers and make sure anybody who drives a city vehicle does their, has their record clean.
Right.
I don't know when that's been done or if that's been done, but we probably should start doing that.
Okay.
The road crew has completed their BMV records request forms, and a check has been made out, and I did have a couple trustee signatures on it. So that has been mailed to Columbus, but I have not received them back yet.
How long ago was that?
Within the past week and a half.
Oh, okay. Look, I don't remember signing.
Actually,
Okay. You said BMV. These are MVRs.
well, that's where they're
So
mailed
this is
to.
Ohio Bureau of Motor Vehicles to get a driving record, like how many points are on someone's license.
Yeah, and it's sent to Columbus.
Okay.
So the first one, the certificate of liability insurance, the only one that we did not have was from Millhouse for our cemetery mowing. So I did get that from Jeff. The road employees, like I said, I have mailed there. They completed their information, and it was, I believe, $5. I think the check was made out to state of Ohio or something like that.
Treasurer.
Now-
Yeah, something like that. And then Mike did complete his description. I think that's number 8. And that was put in trustee Mears' file drawer for her to review.
Right. That's already stated that. Now back to the obtain the motor vehicle records. You did that. Okay, so that's done for the road crew. Did we do that for the police department?
I did not do it, and I think Chief can do that through leads, but he is not able to do any, if you're not a police officer, you're not allowed to check driving records for anyone else. So Chief should take care of that himself and probably keep that in his files, not
Okay.
mine.
Okay.
The check was made out on January 29th for Ohio Treasurer of State for $15.
Okay, and I'll check with Tim tomorrow on this, on his, and see if he's done that.
And then on the number 12 and 13 with the oxyacetylene welding unit and the gas cylinders on the oxyacetylene welding carts, those are complete. There
Okay.
has been, number 10 is complete with a barrier in front of the above ground storage tanks. Number 9 and 11, they have called in how they want the signs printed. So once they are printed, those will be installed on those tanks.
Cool. So it sounds like we've made good headway on a lot. Like, not so much I haven't done nearly as much as others on it, but I just would like to see this done and out of the way and submitted to whoever it gets submitted to.
I have
And-
been emailing mine to KLA when something is complete on my end.
Okay.
So I've sent 2 emails already to Kim Arnold, who is with Mr. Charbach, who came to our township.
Okay.
So Rhonda, you said 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 is completed?
Let me go through 1, 6, 8, that's in your file drawer. 12, 13, and 10, I think. Well, 9 and 11 will be completed when the signs are being made. That was called in last week. But we have not received them yet to put them on the tanks.
Okay. I'm 1, 6, 8, 12, and 13. are
One
done.
is the certificate of liability for the cemetery mowing. The motor vehicle records for the road crew have been mailed but not received back yet. The hepatitis B, there is a form that needs to be signed. So I let KLA know that Trustee Mears has been discussing this with Chief Littleton, but I was not aware if the forms were actually signed by all the officers.
Okay.
9, the sign is being made. 10 is complete. 11, the sign is being made. 12 and 13 is complete.
Rhonda, do you know on this number 6, hold on, sweetie, on this number 6, when it says to do it annually, do we need to show them like 2 years in a row that we're doing it annually, or are they just going to take our word for it that we're going to continue to do this from this time forward?
They come every 3 years. So if we start doing it annually, I can just scan and email it to them for their records. Or when they come here every 3rd year, I could pull them
Then they'll
out so
know.
they have a record of it.
Okay.
I'll have to ask them what their preference is.
Okay, well, good deal. Well, I guess then we're on the right track for that one. And you guys have anything else on that? Moving on. Who got what out of the OTA conference?
I enjoyed it, not as much as I did last year. I need to go back and re-listen to all the recordings. There was a couple, I was up here working on the Wi-Fi at the township during the zoning one, which was one I was really wanting to listen to. Luckily, Karen was locked in, Rhonda was locked in, so I know we had some coverage there. I think it went well. I'm just, like I said before, I'm a little disappointed that they didn't have multiple sessions in parallel in the different time slots. I think that was a missed opportunity for them. And definitely was one of the things that was not as good as last year.
No.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the roundtable for our budget. I would be excited to have that more regularly.
I
Yeah,
couldn't get to it. I even had a question and I couldn't get on the link.
And then another thing, if you trustees, I don't know if you have listened to it or go back, the property tax collection that was on day 4. That would be a really good class for you trustees to listen to, since we'll be putting on the fire and EMS levy, just to familiarize you with, replacement, renewal, additional. It just pulls it all together. Really good information there.
that actually reminds me, there was something that came up. It might have been part of that conversation. It was on the 3rd day. It was whenever we had the township roundtable based on budget that we participated in. There was a briefing in the middle of the day. And I asked a follow-up question during the roundtable regarding, challenges of a country township with little to no business generating revenue. And there was during a separate briefing, it was mentioned that a township had gone to a judge to convert some of their road and bridge over to their general fund. And that you could do that once or twice. That's one of the ones I need to go back and re-listen to, is that there was, Heidi Fote actually talked about that. That there is a way to go through and do that. And because our general fund is so low, that was a point of interest. So I don't know, Rhonda, I think you were on that one too.
Yeah, that class was on day 5, addressing
Day
the
5.
unaddressable, how to resolve problem properties. And Heidi taught that class,
Yep,
although I don't have her name here, but she was there. And no, I'm sorry. Township Road Funding 101. That's
Yep.
what it was.
yep,
And Heidi went deeper into that, Jason.
Yep.
I have actually reached out to Larry down at the county, and we did several emails, and then finally we just had to pick up the phone and discuss this. I got so involved. Unfortunately, if you recall what Heidi said, you can do that unless your township butts up to a village, and ours does, the village of New Lebanon. So we are not able to do that. But talking to Larry, there's like no entity within Perry Township and very, very few in the state of Ohio that would even fit in that area to even do that. So that's not, we can't do it. He basically told me that.
Well, that's it. We're gonna have to move New Lebanon.
Move New Lebanon.
Just a joke.
And Jason, you might want to call Larry and talk to him. I can go through this with you. It gets quite detailed. It's all to do with the 10 mil of the inside millage.
Right,
And you know, again, that was established back in the 1930s. And we're topped off. We just can't do that.
right.
There's,
Well, it was an interesting topic nonetheless.
I'm gonna go back and watch some of them again, just for the sake of trying to see what I may have missed, because a lot of them, the one thing I did find out is in the Q&A part, there's an awful lot of townships that have the same headaches we do.
Yeah,
And I think there was a lot of brainstorming going on with each other also, and some of those that was kind of helpful.
well, and that's where they were saying that, they were gonna look into scheduling like quarterly roundtables with the similarly budgeted townships through the state, because it was so well received, and there was really good conversation in those that, usually you don't get to ask somebody in a room a question like that and then hear like how they dealt with it, or how they have the same challenges, or how they tried to go down these 4 paths. So I really enjoyed that part of it. It's always hard to speak with someone who has a similarly sized township with similar challenges.
And I think I guess that's what I missed, is just being there in person, that you could talk to the person next to you in class and they can say, oh yeah, that's happening, and then you can compare notes.
Exactly.
That's what
And when some of the questions were coming in anonymously,
yeah,
and I'm like, oh, hey, I could have typed that exact same question.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
want to talk to that person. How do you
Right.
know who that person was?
exactly. Right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because when they do it in person, what's the first thing that you have to do when you have a question? You have to stand up, say your name, say your township, and that gives everybody in the room the ability to say, I need to talk to that person, jot down the information. So
Right.
yeah, the anonymous posting was a bit of a pain.
Yeah.
Right. And you can't even find them in the chat rooms or social stuff afterwards.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, hopefully next year in person.
Yes.
That's all I've got.
That's all I got.
Same here.
Working. So
I
are
make
we
a
on
motion
the
to adjourn.
same bat channel for the regular meeting, or do we have to like log off and log on to another one?
You can stay on if you want.
Then I will make a motion to close our work session.
Second,
Wynn,
Yes.
Hartshorn,
yes.
Mears.
Yes.
I will see y'all back here at 7.
Okay.